After this video, you should understand two things. One, why no one could possibly be a man without obeying God through me. And obviously I'm above every other martial artist. Two, why my system transcends every other martial art path by far. There's no comparison. They're nowhere in my league. I didn't need to make my challenge. My challenge overkilled that I'm the top martial artist. Okay, whether they're taking the passive role, like Hades, or they're like Zeus, it's the children of Set, who wants to be in the spotlight and is seen as important, focusing on doing cool moves and nonsense of this nature. Anyway, so Set is the deity of settlers, foreigners. They're foreign to the idea of Horus as the true archetype of divine law, or else they would obey. If they understood the idea, they would obey. There's no in between. Okay, there's no other way. Two, they're foreign to Egypt and the African martial arts systems, which were the superior martial arts systems. The royal martial arts systems, there really is only one royal martial arts system, King of Kings. The others are rulers. It's a long story, and they really aren't the same thing. All right, so Set, settlers, settling for females, the deity of foreigners. Now let's get to the meat of this video, shall we? Erotic sex, dull senses, brute/geek whore alliance. These ideas are connected. Erotic sex, dull senses, brute, geek, whore alliance. Just think about that for a second. Pause it if you need to. Think about those ideas for a second. Why does the one with dull senses choose erotic sex? Jesus in the Bible said, "Are you so dull?" Horus, right, falcon and focus are connected. Hones the senses, honorable, hone your able. Gets to the essence of nature, hones the senses, right? Have you no sense? Hones the senses to get to the essence of nature, naturally. Not through science, not through genetically modified ideas and so on and so forth, but naturally with the accompanying moral code that cannot be fulfilled after I'm gone. So people are cursed to being dead and void of the Spirit of God. All right, so what do these people who have dull senses do? They have orgies. This is where they get their word orgasm, and it's absolutely connected to the word ogre, because you have to be a stupid fuck to have orgies and be thinking in terms of dull senses-based orgasms, right? Erotic desire. Even in the word Lucifer, you have the word loose. Loose fair. Loose I fair. Loose I fear. Loose I for. Loose I rough. Lucifer. Of course, rape, ripe, and rope are connected. Who thinks like this? Ogres, pirates, rapists, brutes, geeks who never grew up, little perverted geeks on the internet, fools, less than men. Harlot is a play on words for whorelet, whorelot. Why? Because this is also an LGBT philosophy. They refuse to concede my point and obey God through me. Why? Because they're a culture that's allowed. And they're also have the energy that goes through all cultures that are allowed, the Gaia, earth energy, the Gaia, earth energy. So whorelet, whorelot, herlet, herlot. Think of the story of Lot in the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah. A bunch of gay people wanted to have sex with the angels. Okay? In this, when they have sex with their wives and reproduce, are they not whores that let these kind of Lot story-like people breed with them? Do they not breed little Lot, little demons from the story of Lot? They want to have sexual immorality using the Bible scale for nothing else. I agree. All right. Now let's move on. Next point. We'll call this point 3. Point 1 was Jesus, are you dull? Honing the senses. Horus, naturally getting to the essence of nature. Point 2 is the ogre, the orgy, the orgasm. Loose, Lucifer, okay, and so on and so forth. Rape, ripe, rope. Point 3 is unfair versus Pharaoh. If you're going to go to God and you're going to walk in truth, you have to be fair. You have to be right. You have to be moral reality, righteous, right, the right path. It is unfair to cheat the top martial artists. It is unfair to insist on brute force challenges, integrated martial sciences, unnatural systems, systems that favor the privileged when the Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed. There's no way around. Point 3, or any other point, really. Point 4, masculinity as a bad freak, geek, Greek that pleases a harlot or shares a harlot versus honed senses and love making. You starting to see the differences here? You starting to realize why the West propounds nothing but erotic desire, ludus, love is role-playing, disassociating instead of more reality, morality, using mental health, psychology, psyche in a trance, psyche, logos, a trance-based logos of fools. Even their own Bible testifies against them. We can tell by the people who aren't Christians as well. Their sniveling existence testifies against them. The vast majority of them, at least. The other ones are less than men because they didn't man up to obey God through the only way that is fair, right, the right path, the Pharaoh, martial and marital. Pharaoh, the reproductive cycle. They can't overcome their kind of perverted brute or geek path or both and to obey God, and they became fools, racists, and other forms of satanic Luciferian trash. Unclassy, just sewer system garbage. This is even where they get the word system. Cistern, sewer system trash. Just Babylon system filth. Baby line. Tower of Babel. Baby L. Fools. Just immature, childish, cowardly, sniveling, whiny, fucking trash God despises. We'll get to that if we have time. All right. The continuity of Roman Empire-based colonial group sex assimilation as same lay shun. Same alphas lay shun. The same idea. They're shunning the idea of dating the guy who says, hey, this isn't right. So they can spread colonialism and assimilate people into their brute and geek sex paths, right? Apollo, Zeus, Poseidon, sniveling filth like that. The next point. Myrtle, the purification rites of Cloacina. They believe that you can rape whoever you want and kill everybody. And if they have survivors from their group that have sex with you and assimilate into your group, that purifies you. The myrtle is also a symbol of the vagina for this reason, as is the rose of secret erotic desire under the guise of love. And of course, there's all kinds of wordplay. Cloacina, C-Lo-A, sin A, sin I. We can go on and on and on. Just utter rubbish. Females are seen as human resources. The salon, the hair salon, goes back to the saloon in the Wild West, which really just means a building. But when you understand how the building is used and how the builders are building society, certainly it connects together. A hairdresser, they're doing what? So they can be like the whores in the salon. It goes back to the heels in Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Why do females wear heels? Because the prostitutes in Rome wore heels, as did the butchers. Because what they're doing is butchering the righteous men. That's why her, hurt, and heart, and hero are connected as our charm and harm. Talk about eHarmony, OkCupid, pagan garbage, witchcraft like Harry Potter, Fantasia, technological terrorist trash. These fools, for the life of them, they not only don't understand love, but they refuse to admit that they don't understand love. So they don't understand the difference between love and false pride-based erotic desire, which is trickery-based sex, which is the only form that allows for erotic sex, is trickery-based sex. I'll let you work the angles on that. I'm running out of time here. I don't want to make videos this long anymore. Proverbs 29:1. Whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly, something to the effect of, will suddenly be destroyed. Can't read my own writing, but you can do Proverbs 29:1. That's basically what it says. Okay, Proverbs 29:3. And you can thank their Western harlots that I have to make this video by myself, okay, instead of having a suitable helper, because they chose the continuity of dull sense, no sense of justice, no sense of righteousness, no sense of love, based rough whore sex. There's a difference between a female that gets 100 guys fucking her, right? She says, well, one guy fucking me for half an hour is not enough. So the next one, and the next one, and the next one. 5 hours later, she has an orgasm because she's a whore. Versus the female that you can basically have sex with for like fucking 2 minutes. Not that I'm a minute man, mind you. And she can derive desire from it because she's honed her senses and she appreciates every touch. Don't you see the difference between the soft touch and, I need some stupid ass bitch? You're an idiot. If you think this has anything to do with me having some kind of sexual deficiency, and this isn't the pure truth, you're an idiot if you don't know this is God's truth. Proverbs 29:3. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. What are we talking about here? Spiritual wealth, his life. Life, the essence of life, righteousness, morality, the core of life, God, the source of life. The core of righteousness, life, love, and anything else that is virtuous is God. He squanders his true wealth, which is his life, even if he finds a way to make himself live for 10,000 years. 1 John 2:15, do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. So if he loved wisdom and did the right thing and obeyed God through the martial art order and didn't steal from me my right to lead, whether it's him as a group, whether it's the group that he's trying to cheat me out of leading or him as an individual. Okay? If he loved wisdom, he'd bring joy to his Father in heaven, especially. All right. Let's see. Okay. So Proverbs 29:14. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne is established forever. Forever. Where? In heaven. So when you're in my shoes, right, does it pay to leave out these details? I'm judging you fairly, including long, long explanations as to why it's fair, why they don't have a semblance of a counter-argument, and they've resorted to despicably hiding behind psyops, science, CIA doctors, and all kinds of garbage like that. Fuming me, blinding me to the point where I have to wear glasses that filter out certain spectrums of light. You know, a problem. You show me one other person on the planet who has a specific problem, okay, in this form. Other people have photophobia and things that are similar, but not in this form. Anyway, Proverbs 29:25, I believe. The fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. How? Was Jesus not crucified? Certainly, the flesh is not a worry. Fear only God. You fall into a snare. You're their slave when you fear them. You say, well, I'm a functionalist. When you're a functionalist, you're a slave. You're afraid of what's going to happen if you do the right thing. You do things based on how things function instead of obeying God through the divine order, which is the only way to be righteous. The way, the truth, the truth. There's only one way to be righteous. That is to obey the Christos, the anointed one, the King of the gods. In the great assembly, I represent God. All the other rulers who are valid come to the great assembly. They are demos, peasants in rebellion. So none of them show up. They are settlers. They want you to settle for their bitch, for their betas. Bitch. Betas is beast scram. Almost out of time, so let's just shoot through this. Proverbs 29:27. The righteous detest the dishonest. The wicked detest the upright. You should see all these whiny, sniveling, gang-stalking ninnies every day give me a hard time. You should see how they refuse instruction. They refuse correction. They're stiff-necked. Read Proverbs 29:1. They're stiff-necked. They refuse. They get rebuked again and again and again. They try to avoid. It doesn't matter if you avoid. It's like you hide in a hole trying to avoid God's punishment. If the one representing God is still rebuking you, it doesn't matter if you're listening or not. You're still headed for destruction. You're being rebuked again and again. Proverbs 21:1-2. In the Lord's hand, the king's heart is a stream of water that he channels toward all who please him. A person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord weighs the heart. Are you true of voice? Of course you're not. What can you say? You thought that you knew better about God than the top martial artist? The Igbo king, who's the king of kings? The last righteous man ever? You thought you knew better than he who God chose to be the last righteous man on earth? Are you insane? Or are you just a childish coward?